Hey, this is Math Function again. We're back with questions that we take from one of our followers that they comment with. Like, you can also comment with yours that you want us to work on, and or maybe if you're familiar with Facebook, you could just DM us. We at Math63 Function. That way, we can send problem or maybe ask for content that you want us to work on. But you can simply do it just here on the comment section. There are a lot of videos like these that we get from or get to the question from our students. I will just link them on my file if maybe you have a question that relates with one of the questions that we ever encountered. And the question here, let's get it started. In the diagram, this is the diagram. A is 1, 3. These are the coordinates for A. B has like unknown coordinates, and this one has known coordinates of -1 and -1 are points in the Cartesian plane. C is a midpoint of AB. F point F in such a way that this one equal to this one. From that we can see that this is a isosceles triangle giving us this angle equal to this angle, because whenever these angles are equal, then obvious these ones are equal to. Okay, then maybe we can use that. We also given that this line is perpendicular to this. What we know of perpendicular lines is that the product of their gradient will always give us a negative answer. So maybe we'll need this in future, but let's go to what they just asked us to do. The first question for 2 marks, we are required to get a length of AE. Or AE, A, AE, I'm very sorry. AE is the questioned distance that we should calculate or compute. Distance formula is change in y plus change in x squared. U square x. This is the formula for yeah, it's a distance formula. Okay, sorry for that. So let's do the computing by just substituting to distance formula, which we're saying A E is equal to change in y, so we're just going to minus y of this and y of this. So we start here, -1 -3 -1, this -1, it's a y, -3, all, this is my 3, all squared, plus change in y's, change in x's, this was y's. I started from -1, so I have to start in the very same point again. -2 -2 -1, all squared again. Then that is all under a root. Remember, this is a distance formula. It's denoted by, I repeat, it's change in y squared plus change in x squared all over a root. Then after substitution, you get that this is our distance formula. Okay, then from here, then what, you could just take your calculator and put substitute or write exactly as it is there. Okay, let me have my calculator on the screen. This is it. So you're just going to type exactly what is in here. First of all, you put the root, and then you put the open bracket -1 -3 close squared plus open bracket -2 -1 close squared. Where is the square sign? squared, squared. Then you press equal sign. Then you get to know that from A to E, it is 5 units. Don't forget to say units if you haven't given any units, unless you are told that the, the units that are using is centimeters or what. But as far as you don't know, please mention that this is 5 units. I'm trying to fix my handwriting. 5 units. Okay, we have to put it here as our answer. I'm just going to write 5. I'm just going to write 5. Oh, I can write 5. 5. Okay, and clear all that since we're not using it anymore. While we're reading on the next question said a gradient of AC. Who is AC? A, where is C? C, 1 AC. Gradient is what? As we all know, a gradient, yes, gradient is denoted by symbol M. Gradient of what? Of AC. Writing a subscript, what you're talking about here, I would recommend. It's help who is marking the paper to be sure what belongs where, and for you who is also writing a paper, you will be sure. You will know whenever you need to kind of AC with the subscript there. Gradient is equal to change in y all over change in x. Okay, what is change in y? So it's like you subtract the y and subtract the x's. So the next step, you're going to, it's what? It's of AC. First of all, it subtracts the y. So it's going to be 3. 3 should see 3 is that y. 3 is this y minus 1 minus 1 all over. We go to the x. We start from that one again. It's 1 minus 2. Then you get what? Here it will be 2, and bottom or in the denominator is going to be negative 1. So you get a gradient of negative 2. Gradient of AC is negative 2. If you get a gradient, make sure a gradient corresponds with the diagram. Since here you got a negative answer and the slope is decreasing, you should know that our answer has more chances to be correct. Fortunately, ours is correct. But if you're an exam not so sure about the answer, make sure that whatever answer that you think is true or not true, at least it should correspond with the slope of the graph. Don't just get a negative answer here and now the slope here is increasing. That is not possible. So now we save our gradient to be negative 2. Then we cancel all this. The next question that they tested us on is coordinates of B. B is here. B we only given that it is x and y. We don't know the x and y. But then something that includes B here is something that we got just there. We were told that AB is a line, so that C is the midpoint to this line. Midpoint exactly. So when we're calculating midpoint, we have a formula that says y a of which is this y plus y b this y divided by 2 is equal to y at the midpoint. The midpoint here is y at C. I love the subscripts whenever you're doing your maths. They make your maths make sense to someone who didn't write it. So y at A is what? Is 3. Y at B, or this was supposed to be 3. is supposed to be 3. Y at A is 3. Y at B, that we don't know, plus Y at B. So Y at C, that we know is what? Is 1. And because we said we want the midpoint, we divide by 2. Then from this, you cross multiply. Then you get your 2. Then here you left with what? 3 plus y b. Then because we want y, not 3y plus b, or maybe not 2, you're going to take y b as subject to the formula. Then now you transpose your 3 to the other side. It's going to be minus 3. Then our answer is going to be negative 1. Y is negative 1. Whenever you get the answer here, you have to look at the quadrant. Here it's y's are negative since y's are increasing this side and decreasing this side. So about here, it's more likely for y to be negative. So this answer has more chances to be correct. Negative 1. Okay, the next question. Now they are saying that if they join B, E, BE, let me highlight it, is moving from here, B to E, this point. Now, if they're saying that they construct a line and then they form a special quadrilateral that we never had of A, F, B, E, name a special quadrilateral APF. Give full what? Justification. Like without doing the maths, we could see that this quadrilateral relates with a kite. Why we say it's more like a kite? Because of these lines equal. If it was a kite, this line was supposed to be equal to. So let me draw a kite here. A kite is of this nature. This is equal to this, and this is equal to this. So we can use this feature or a property of a kite to prove this is a kite. The other thing about the kite is that its diagonals bisect each other perpendicularly. So if these diagonals bisect each other at 90, then this is a kite. So we can then construct a line EF. And if here is 0, I mean it's 90 degrees, then so it is a kite again. So there are a couple of reasons that you can use to prove that. We said so far we have to prove this one is equal to this, or maybe prove that diagonals bisect each other at 90 degrees. So trying to prove that, we could just get the distance of EP. If distance of EP equals to EA more the one that we calculated in our first question, then we can say this is a kite because of the adjacent sides are equal. Okay, let's do the maths. So we're looking at distance EB. EB is equal to a root change in y squared plus change in x squared. Simple. The change in y's, the y's here, it's negative 1, and the here the one for here we said it's negative 1, 2. Negative 1, we got that. Then there is no change, isn't it? Yes, there is no change. So it's simple, minus 1 plus 1 all squared. The change in x is, oh, I made a mistake lady. I calculated the y only for coordinate of p. Then I can calculate that now because it's simple as the very same thing. It's going to be x of A plus x at what? At B all over 2 is equal to x at C. So the very same procedure you follow. X at A, it's 1. X at B, that you don't know, is going to be x at B all over 2 x at C. X at C is 2. Then you do the cross multiplication, then you get your 4 is equal to 1 plus x at x at what? X at B, because this is x that you're looking for. So then we transpose this one, then our x at B is going to equal to 3. So we have our x here, it's 3. Then we can keep going. So the full answer for this one is going to be, the x is going to be 3, and then the y is going to be negative 1. So then we're still dealing with the changes here. The change in y is here, it's negative 1 and this one, so there's no change. The change in x is we started with which one? We started with this one. We can start with this one. It's just the very same thing. Negative 2, negative 2, then plus, because this one is a minus, plus 1, all squared. There is a plus sign here, and then there is a root. This is all from your equation. Your formula. So far, I've just spotted a mistake in my substitution. Let me solve it up. This was the change in y's, of which there is no change on the change in x's. So it's going to be negative and negative 2 minus 3 all squared. Then the answer is going to be this one. There is no change. This one makes 0. 0 squared is nothing. Then here we are going to have negative 5, negative 5 squared. Then it's going to give us an answer of 5 squared. 5 squared under a root. It's going to cancel each other. You know the sats. If you don't know, you can request a video to help us on that. Then you get what? 5 is the answer. Since this 5 is equal to the 5 that we got initially, therefore we can conclude that this side is equal to this side. If this side is equal to this side, then obviously this is a kite, because adjacent sides are equal. Pair of adjacent sides are equal. That's the reason that you're using from calculating the area. The last part of the question now that we are looking at is 2.3. Mostly the last part is normally challenging in maths. So let's look at this one. They said the one triangle, the area of a triangle, this one. Okay. Mostly, if you're solving your maths calculations, make sure that you use every data that is provided in the instruction. It's not always the case, but I truly advise that make sure that everything that is included there, the examiner always puts in there, because he's testing you or wanna make sure that you use it. So, for instance, this thing that these sides are equal, we haven't used that, and also that they are perpendicular, we haven't used that. So whatever I'm thinking to write here, I must make sure that it's have to use that. Since we know now this triangle, let me try to draw this triangle separately. Maybe it's going to make sense. This is the triangle that we're talking about. This triangle is triangle. Here it is right angled, it's F. There I call it point A, I call it point B. But fortunately we given that this one is equal to this. Okay. We can also to calculate the area, we could use the distance AP. So it's best that we calculate the distance AP. Distance AB is equal to changing y for AP, of which is 3 plus 1, because that is minus 1, close squared, plus open bracket, changing x, it's 1 minus 3 close squared. That is all under a root. Then you bring your calculator to do your magic. If you put exactly that data in your calculator, you're going to get an answer of 2 and root 5. So now we are going to put 2 and root 5 here as Pythagoras. I mean, not as hypotenuse of this triangle that we're getting in. So the next step, let's keep going. The next step, we get rid of all this. We go to our Pythagoras equation. Because this, okay, let me just, it's going to make sense. Pythagoras states that AB, who is a hypotenuse squared, is equal to AF squared plus FB squared. But then you should say that given that these AB and AF and FB are equal, so we could just equate them or make them one variable. So I decide to call it 2AF squared, because they just add up. They are more like terms because they are equal. So AB squared is equal to this. Remember, we have the length of AP squared. So we are going to say 2 root 5 all squared is equal to 2AF squared. Then we are going to divide by 2. And because of this root, our AF is going to equal to 2 root 5 divided by 2. Because of that 2 or that power square, we are going to put all that under a root. Then bring our calculator again. It's going to be fraction 2, or first I should have put in the root 2 root 5 divided by 2. Our AF is equal to this value 1, 4, 9, 5. This is our AF, of which is equal to that. Then remember, from a description, I'll show you how to get the correct answer just from here. Remember, we said our AB squared. We're just going to say open bracket 2 root 5 close power. Oh, sorry, I closed without moving. Close power 2 is equal to the tutorial I want to do is solve x using a calculator. I'm going to put in description is equals to x squared. Then I'm going to say shift solve for x. Oh, the mistake is on exactly. I forgot the 2 here. Jesus. So 2. Now let me say shift solve. Or maybe this is the correct answer. Yes, on my working here, I forgot that this one had its own square. So they've been this square, of which made my answer wrong here. So let me put up my calculator again. That's why I always recommend to use this method, because you never go wrong with it. 3,16 is our answer. 3,16 is our answer. And I also taught you that if you get an answer like this, make sure that you shift store it at any value. Let me call it A. Then our answer is going to stay at A. Whenever I'm looking for A, I'm just going to say alpha A, and it's going to retrieve that data. Any calculator can do that. Okay, now I have the value of A. Then I can go back to my basic area of a triangle. Area of a triangle is what we know. Area of a triangle is half length times breadth. Everyone knows that. Okay, area is equals to length times breadth, where our length, oh sorry, this area of a rectangle. I recorded a video tonight, so there are a lot of errors. Forgive me. Area is equals to half base times height. Half the base is the very same answer. The base and height are the same, so it's going to be half. What is my answer? Remember, I have it start. I have it start at a alpha a 3,16. So it's going to 3,16. Because it's 3,16 times 3,16, these values are the same. We're just going to put squared. Then my calculator is going to come back again and do its magic. Then I'm going to say half multiplied by open bracket 3, we're not putting 3,16. It's going to say alpha and put a because it's start here, and now squared, and then I get the answer is equal to the area is equals to 5 units, not just units, squared, because this is area. Thank you. Please comment with how you felt about the question. If you were confused in somehow, comment on, and maybe if another question you can comment. And remember to put questions on Math 63 Foundation on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up will be highly appreciated. Thank you.